Good morning and good Moed. As we embark on the next few days of Chol Hamoed, it is always important to just review the basic concept of Chol Hamoed as a whole, especially on a year like this week where it falls on an entire weekdays. And the Mishnah and Avos has very strong things from Rabbi Elazar Modai to say about Chol Hamoed, that one who is mevazes hamoados, one who disgraces, who doesn't give the moados, the holidays, the proper respect, even if they are one who learns a lot of Torah and who has tremendous masim tovim, good deeds in their pockets, so to speak, still one would not have a chelik in olam haba. Very harsh words, which the Mishnah records in the context of mevazes hamoados, which the Rishonim, Rashi, the Bartanura, among others, explain that mevazes hamoados refers to one who doesn't give the proper respect to Chol Hamoed. Now we know that there are multiple aspects to the respect of Chol Hamoed. There is the fact that there is still an Isra Malacha, that it is not a free-for-all on Chol Hamoed. We know that we do, given certain realities, oftentimes have to work throughout Chol Hamoed, but that again, we are not going to focus on the Malachos of Chol Hamoed, but there still is an Isra Malacha. Things should be different. Things should not be done unless they are permitted for specific reasons, which perhaps we will talk about moving forward. But what I want to focus on is the mevazes moados in a positive way, that the way we treat, not only from the refraining of complete work, of complete malacha, but from also the way we should be treating it. The Mishnah Berurah records that even though there's not a formal obligation to wash each and every day of Chol Hamoed, it is still a preference to be able to wash, to give it the proper respect, because there is a sense of kavod hamoed. There's a sense that we should be respecting it, and the best way to do so is by improving our food a little bit, perhaps by washing, perhaps by eating a little meat as well. All ways in which one is mechabed the moed. This applies to also in terms of how we dress, that when we dress, we should try, if we're able to, not dress in the same way that we dress during the week, just something a little bit nicer than we typically would, something in between, as the Sharat Sion summarizes it, that it is somewhere in between Yom Tov and a weekday. It doesn't quite reach the caliber of Yom Tov, that we need Yom Tov clothing and Yom Tov meals, and obviously the Isra Malacha is not as severe as it is on Yom Tov. However, it is also not a regular Monday today. It is not a regular weekday. It is something which should have some additional respect in the way we eat, the way we drink, the way we dress, all things that should be considered in how we go about our day of Chol Hamoed. There was a correspondence between Reb Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal and Reb Eliezer Zatzal, his father-in-law, as to whether or not there's a formal obligation to have some wine every day of Chol Hamoed as well. Reb Chaim Kanievsky was of the opinion that there was not a formal obligation to do so. And Reb Eliezer thought that unless one doesn't enjoy it, then there would not be an obligation. But if one does enjoy it, then it is appropriate to have a little bit. But again, this is all in line with the same underlying factor here, that we treat today with a little bit more respect than we do a typical weekday. It is still a moed. It is still something that deserves our respect, that we dress a little nicer, we eat a little nicer, we act a little nicer, and everyone should have a beautiful and wonderful good moed.